Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Please subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm here to talk to you tonight about Jamaicans getting power again, electricity, after Hurricane Melissa on October 28, 2025. And I'm going to talk about the discussion happening right now in the parliament between the government and the opposition. And I want to put this to you and see if it makes sense. First, let me just ask you guys if you are hearing me well. Can you hear well? All right. Because, once in a while people say, oh, the audio. Okay, good. So, I don't know if you guys have been following the conversation. Good night, moderators. Welcome back. I don't know if you guys have been following the conversation, but I followed some of it today, and it sounds to me like the opposition is fighting against JPS. The opposition is discouraging the government from entering into an agreement with JPS, right? And they're trying to cause a sense of fear that the government either shouldn't lend to JPS or they should. I don't really know. I'm going to let you guys hear some of it. But in my view, they put Dayton Campbell at the podium today to basically badger the finance minister. And it just amazes me that Dayton Campbell's constituency is where Hurricane Melissa made landfall. So his constituency was hit the hardest, right? And he's up there saying, well, I want people to get light. But in the same breath, he's saying that he's not so sure that the government should be lending JPS any money. Or if you lend them this amount of money, where they're going to get that amount of money from? Who the hell cares? At this point in time, all of your constituents are living day to day without electricity. It's been weeks. Now, JPS is saying that they're facing a situation where they need more money in this crisis that they obviously didn't prepare for. And in order for them to speed up the process of restoration in these hard hit parishes, they're going to need some more money. And if they don't get the money, then Jamaicans are going to have to wait until 6 months later, sometime in May of 2026, to get back full restoration, right? They did a good job restoring most of the power so far, but it's not right to leave some people in the dark for the next 6 months. So the government had a conversation with JPS, and they're saying to JPS, well, what can we do to restore the power to all the people in a timely manner? JPS level with them and make them know, say, listen, we're gonna need a little more money, right? And then work out something where the government is going to loan them $150 million so they can get the workmen to come in and speed up the process and stuff like that. Now, the argument that the opposition is making is that JPS say them needed about 300 and odd million, right? And the government is lending them 150 million. So where the rest of money will come from? Who the hell cares? Go and ask JPS where they are gonna get the rest. The government no response for where they want to get the rest of the money from. That's not their prerogative. The government entered into an agreement with them to lend them $150 million. That's all the government need to concern about. From the work is going to get done, JPS is a big boy, big man. Them can go look the rest of the money elsewhere. And if the opposition has any questions for JPS about where them going to get the rest of the money from, go and ask them. Guys, me wrong? Go and ask JPS where they're going to get the rest of the money from, because the JPS not obligated to even talk to the government of Jamaica about where they are going to get the rest of their money from. They're not obligated. Remember, say JPS is an independent light company, you know. So if JPS want go borrow the rest of money from the United States, whether they go want borrow it from Haiti, that's their prerogative. All the government know is that they are lending them 150 million and they're going to have to pay it back. That's it. That's it. So it amazes me that Dayton Campbell, of all the MPs, Dayton Campbell, who fool the people then by their votes to put him back there in Parliament. His constituents are the hardest hit. Them not have no light. And if it's not for this agreement that the government enters in with JPS, Dayton Campbell's constituents will not have light until May of 2026. So why did Dayton Campbell come to the parliament? Come and discourage the government from lending JPS the money and trying to cause a delay and trying to cause problem and eruption. You know, say them people are wicked though. I want to know for spread the word on our eastern Westmoreland, you know, all over Westmoreland, you know. And make it people them will put them there, will buy them and sell them vote. Make them know say the same set of man them in a parliament to fight against them. They not no light down there. Darkness. Down there come like a cave. So to make sure say when you call people who want to know or if you go if you live in Westmoreland, make Westmoreland people them. St. Elizabeth and all about know say the PNP is fighting against the people, getting back their power. What is this? The government has all good intentions. The government could have said, look here, who want to get power next year, 6 month time, next summer, them depend on their own with a business. The government can do that, you know. But their intention is good to loan JPS the money, right? Now, if JPS falters on this loan, because that is what the PNP is coming with, they might come with some fatalistic, negative kind of prediction. And if JPS falters on the loan, we're not getting a court. A simple maths, you know. But if that happens, we will cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, we need to make sure that JPS is doing the job to restore the power to the people so that they can live a normal life again. That's all we're concerned about. I don't understand these people. But you see, to the people of Westmoreland, should I feel sorry for you? I don't know. Because guess what happened? This is what happens in the case of Eastern Westmoreland. This is what happens when your member of parliament does not live in your constituency. If Dayton Campbell didn't live there, he would be singing a different tune. He don't live there. So he was in Kingston today where the lights were on, talking against Uno, talking against Uno getting the help. What is this? These people are just ridiculous at this point in time. They don't know when they think say every God Almighty thing they must oppose. They must badmouth. I mean, these guys, to be very honest with you, these guys, the Dayton Campbells of the parliament, they are making people hate the PNP. And that's not a good thing. Because how can you, a natural disaster, the longest I have ever experienced living without power was for about 2 weeks. When I've gone through hurricanes, and for 2 weeks, I don't remember how long we didn't have power during Gilbert because I was small. But as an adult, as an adult, I've lived through hurricanes and 2 weeks without light. It's not nice, very depressing. You have to try and just get through every day. You understand? Without electricity, and you can't function like that if you live in a modern society, a modern world. Let me let you guys hear a little bit of it, the conversation. The government has good intention.
450 Westmoreland and elsewhere, Westmoreland and elsewhere, can receive can receive, can receive electricity. The, currently, from the from what we are aware of thus far, the government is willing to lend 150 out of the amount. Yes, the 450, the government is willing to lend 400, 450. Government is willing to lend 150. 350, whichever figure it is, say 350, the government is willing to lend 150. But they require 350 so that all the persons that are currently affected can get back light. No, man, you want to say, you ask the question. Ask the question. It is required by JPS to restore electricity to all of the persons who are currently affected. So the Minister of Energy has just indicated 150 million US dollars. So that means that the $250 million is to restore, and those are details that we don't have. JPS would be the entity that would.
Okay, you guys are saying that the volume is low or whatever, but you get the gist of what is going on. So a lot of these questions that they're trying to pose to the finance minister, and they're trying to badger the finance minister, because them a look soundbite, Them a look soundbite and them a try look like things. But instead, they look like obstructionists. They look like they're fighting against the people. Because what is your solution then? If the government should not lend the money to JPS, or if it's such a dangerous situation and the government shouldn't do it, what is your suggestion for make Jamaican people them get back the power sooner than next summer 2026? What is their solution? They have none. They have none. I heard that Philip Palwell is gonna be on all angles talking about. I think somebody tagged me. Let me look on it. Where Philip Palwell is going to say, hold on. So Philip Palwell is going to be on. Oh gosh, where is it? Anyway, he's going to be on all angles and he's going to talk about why it is important. Or sit here. He says, join me tonight as I break down the opposition's concerns regarding the government's JPS loan decision and why Jamaicans deserve full transparency on this critical energy matter. Hear what now? We don't really want you know from PNP on this. We just want the people to get back the light. Okay? The government and their cabinet should know that if anything goes wrong with this, even though they have good intentions, they're going to have to pay the consequence. They may pay the consequence politically. That's it. Something goes wrong. Darrell Vaz, Andrew Holness, Faval Williams, all of them will make the decision for lend JPS the money. If something goes drastically wrong, they shall pay the political consequence. But we don't need to be talking about that right now. What we need to be talking about is that JPS is going to get the money, them need to do the work. It is estimated that if they get this loan, that they can restore power to 100% by the end of January. Some people who would not get power until next summer, they will get back Christmas going into the New Year's, and then by the end of January, everybody should be fully restored. And we'll just make sure that JPS is doing their job. And we'll just make sure, say, JPS is going to give back the government their money. That's all, you know. That is all. A crisis we in a right now. So we not a time for not heap of paperwork. I just the truth. The people them want back their lights. We don't have a whole heap of explanation. How much money you need for borrow? 150? All right, see it here. You're going to pay back the loan. Go do your work. That's it. The person in the chat who said they don't agree. Tell me why you don't agree. Let me see if you are one of them with PNP give talking point. Can we welcome everybody over here, you know? But come tell me, moderators, on type in the chat the phone number to the program. Make that somebody they call and say why they don't agree. With the heap of argument for, we not see no heap of argument in that. The people them we in a darkness. Down a St. Elizabeth and down a Westmore. Them don't want no chattings. Them just want back their light. That's all. Me and the people them go as far as to say, because JPS contract must have end in a 2 years, they not have to pay back the government. What kind of talk that? So we not have a court of law. We have a court of law. And if they enter into an agreement with the government to borrow this money and pay it back, if they don't pay it back, there will be consequences. But we're not there. Where we are right now is for JPS, take the money, go do what they might do, get the linesman to come restore the people in power. The person in the chat who said that they don't agree with what I am saying, please, I have the phone right here. Let me take it off a do not disturb. Call the program and make we hear why you don't agree with this. Me I talk for the people in a darkness. Me I talk for the victims them, including PNP, who in a darkness now, and they're victims of Hurricane Melissa. Right? Me see some people in the chat say, Westmoreland people them for stay in a darkness. Enough of them for stay in a darkness, because enough of them selling vote, yes, and enough of them are fool, yes. But you have some people never vote for them money. Some of them people they never take them money. Oh, thank you, Carlton. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. You have some people who never sign up for this. So it's hard for me to say the whole of them. Some of them for stay in the darkness. Somebody say, Anthony, welcome, thank you. Somebody say, it goes further than just getting back electricity in a short time. The flood contract expires July 2026. So JPS want to hold big stick over the government head. Me not see how JPS would can hold big stick over the government head. I don't view it that way. All I see happening here is that JPS needs more money to finish the job sooner, right? The government is supposed to in an argument with JPS. When the job done, when they say them borrow the money for, then we can in an argument about other things. But right now, I just want focus and I forget about the people in them power. So me not really get the other rest of side show and them something they want go on. Without electricity, the economy is dead. They know that me I talk about. A whole heap of business can't operate down there. You know? Whole heap of business can't operate. So as I said, the government has good intentions. The government has good intentions. So me not really see the problem. How the country is going to operate, especially on just generators. Unless Westmoreland and them places they want to stay behind the world. But for the opposition coming to encourage cynicism, skepticism against a situation where you have Jamaicans are suffering daily, including their constituents. It just tells me that their heart is not in the right place and they don't care. They could care less. JPS was seeking a 15-year extension on the current contract. That is the big stick. Okay, they can do that all they want. Nobody not in a no argument with them. Because whether they get the 15-year contract or not, them still going to have to pay back the $150 million. And that's all we are talking about right here, so. So to be preempting other stuff while all we're talking about right now is for the people them get back the power, it's creating confusion. And we don't need that. You know what I want the government to do? I want the government to go down to Westmoreland, go down to St. Elizabeth, and go talk to the people them directly where they don't have no power. Yeah, man. Go down there and tell them, say, yeah, ask for them permission to be interviewed and record them and tell them what you plan to do. And them something they are here with them. Make we hear from the people them. Hello, good night. Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
To you on this very interesting the topic you are discussing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as a lay person, um, you're gonna loan somebody money.
Mm.
You're gonna lend them with conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So JPS is a corporation. You're gonna lend some money.
Mm-hmm.
As they got 20% shares in JPS.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna be lending them money, if they can't pay back the money, then you're taking it back in shares in more of the company.
Yes. Yes.
One of the things is that the economy depends on electricity in order for it to turn the wheels of production.
Completely.
And they're debating whether you want to lend the money or don't want to lend the money, then the economy is going to go down. And I think that's what the opposition wants. The opposition don't want to see the country move forward. So they're using this now to say that the government should lend JPS the money, but it is in the best interest of Jamaica that JPS gets to come back to full capacity.
Can you imagine, my friend, another 6 months, how individuals and businesses in the West will be affected? It's true. It look like say them want the economy to go down for true, you know. They don't want a productivity in our country, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what else? What other reason could you have? Because I mean, JPS, he only has the name, or they haven't changed the name when it was sold.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, he the name JPS, but it's a private entity. So if they have a need for 300 and what $50 million,
Yes.
I mean, half of the money to do what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
They have investors, all of those people. They go to them and raise the rest of the people that they need to come to complete the job.
I'm sure they will be doing that, or they probably have already done that. But the thing is, the PNP is coming to the parliament telling the government that them to come explain where JPS will get the rest of the money. The government, that's not their prerogative. Them can't come, they come talk on JPS money. Go ask JPS. JPS not to discuss that with the government neither.
I think Mr. Paul is supposed to go and find out and do his due diligence.
That's right.
Because the government took place part already, which he did not have to do, but in the best interest of the country, they did what they have to do.
That's right. That's right. And I don't think JPS.
It's not. But the PMP, their attitudes, you wonder if they are Dominicans or they are just they're holding up space. Because how can you not want to see the country move forward?
Them know what them are do, man. That's why I'm out here tonight talking about it.
Because like they want, I mean, they don't have anything else to bring on the prime minister with. So they what they're doing. I mean, Because I remember during the real when the power didn't when the power wasn't restored as fast as they think it should have restored, they were in the government to JPS, blah blah blah. Now that the government take a different approach, it's like darn if you do and darn if you don't.
Yeah, but remember, Beryl was Beryl, Melissa one totally different kettle of fish, So we have a major disaster upon we and I'm not surprised that JPS, you know, would need more revenue for get back the power up much sooner. And they will hopefully Jamaica will learn from this where our power infrastructure is concerned, right? Because we need to do some things different now, right? So it's a learning process for everybody. And, we support where we can so that we can get the country back up to speed and the people.
Some people, they are more about. I mean, having power than see the country prosper. And I think that's just where they are.
We say, Bunny don't figure rule over the ashes. Well, mm-hmm. Yeah.
To say, I mean, if the GLP hasn't got it yet, they must understand that you are their de facto information minister, because you have been on it. I mean, you Michelle and Karen, you guys have started. You still continue to champion the cause.
Yeah, man.
So the recognition that you deserve. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you are standing for your country. Knowing your history and where you're coming from, that you were once being on the other side, but
Mm-hmm.
you choose country over party.
Absolutely.
So you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I see they're kind of getting around to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing nothing to do so long before they address it,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. But as I say, continue to do what you're doing. I mean, and Jamaica. I mean, the history. I think history will be kind to you when the history of Jamaica is written.
Yes, my friend. Thank you for calling. Yeah, man. Thank you. Guys, another topic that I want to talk about tonight is this. The government announced that they're canceling all Christmas celebration across government and them something. And I think it's the right thing to do. However, I don't know if I agree with this. I feel say we must put on something for the aid workers them in our country. Because some of them, they're in Jamaica trying to help people. They're away from their families. And them depend it every day just trying to help people who are in crisis. You know? Um, just to give them a break, just to give them a day of recognition and just to bring them a sense of joy. You understand? I think that's something that we should do because there are so many people volunteering right now in Jamaica to help our people. And that is a noble act, of kindness. So while I agree that, all the big parties and them thing there for Christmas, should be cancelled, we can certainly channel our efforts into bringing cheer to the most important people right now in Jamaica. You see, like how during COVID time, who were the most important people? The healthcare workers, right? Because healthcare workers, they're on the front line, putting their lives at risk, you know. Um, we don't talk about this often, but during COVID, the most dangerous place to work was in healthcare. And you have people who put on them scrubs and them dip on it every day without a second thought. So in this time now in Jamaica, the most important people and the persons that we should recognize most are those who we call aid workers and those who are in Jamaica volunteering, some of them away from their own families for this season and this holiday. So I think that we should give them a recognition and we should, you know, cheer up their spirits a bit, because during this time of year, everybody wants to be with their families, and they want to feel the Christmas vibe, the Christmas spirit. And I really admire the people who step up, whether they're missionaries. Some people do it all year round. It doesn't have to be a crisis for them to be out there helping people. You understand? You have some people who make it their life's mission to do that. Some people them go through their own challenges in life, and they understand how important it is to have somebody be there for you when you are going through it. And so they've made it their life's mission to give back and to step up and to help other people. And that's what life is about. You understand? If you're in a position to help somebody, I think you have a duty to do so. Do I remember when PNP tax hand cards? Yes, I do. How could we forget that? You know? I want to say something tonight over here about Mr. Warmington. Who don't know something like Mr. Warmington? But hear what? I think after what I saw in the parliament with Warmington yesterday, I think that Warmington has become the grumpy old troll of the parliament. And I think he is abusing his what do I call it now? We call him the president of the standing order because he knows the standing order. But you cannot be arrogant, and you cannot be so rude that you think you are, above the rules. And that's what I sensed from Warmington yesterday, and I didn't like that. I don't like it. You can't be violating the rule, and when your mic get turned off, you're telling the speaker don't turn off your mic, as if you are above the rules or above anybody in there, and then you're bragging as you are being corrected and you are being told to follow the rules, that you have the most votes in there. Yeah, we know you have the most votes in there, but that doesn't give you the right to be arrogant and be rude. I don't like a man that's arrogant. I don't like it. You don't have to be rude, right? There are rules, as you very well know, and I hope that there's not one Labourite over here tonight who saw what Warmington go on with Tuesday and I go say it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. If the PNP them can pass them place and get told that them a pass them place, me no know why Warmington should get away. Him do too much now. Yesterday. Me not like that. So that's all me have to say about that. Me not like it. When go on with for the speaker, no sir, me not like it. And I can see people like Dayton Campbell sitting there with this nasty grin on his face, as if they were glad to see a male in there talking over, shouting down, and disrespecting the speaker. That them nasty people up on the opposition want to see. And them never hide it, right? Because they try to do it and nobody don't agree with them. So is it okay for Warmington to do that? I don't think so. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And when we see stuff like that, we must not laugh about it. It's not funny. Because when the PNP them do it, we don't like it neither. So just because Warmington has the most votes in there, and him is the most senior in there, and him is the president of the standing order, it does not give him a pass to do that. The speaker is somebody child too, As somebody mother up there, As somebody wife up there. She stood her ground, and that's commendable. But we should never see this kind of behavior in there. No, it's not right. Sometimes I have to wonder if these people in the parliament understand, say, we live in a time now where everybody is looking and watching the behavior of the Jamaican parliamentarians. They're watching, and it not look good. When you no go on so in there, no look, me see them all invite people in there from different countries to come sit in and look. And at the same dirty style, who now walk out and diss up people. What have we become? This is ridiculous. But they must be mindful that there are people, Jamaica is a big deal, and especially now with the hurricane are sitting. People are watch we. Them are watch how we government interact with one another and how our parliament interacts with the country. I see when me see them things, I don't want to look in there, because I have time I waste. When me see them kind of behavior there, me not go waste my time and sit down and watch parliament and watch people and disrespect people, and that's not what it's about. That takes away time from the business of the country. It takes away time from us getting information so that we can do what we do out here. So we don't have time for that. I was so disgusted when I heard it and saw Dayton Campbell sitting there smiling because them 8 woman, them boy they were PNP, they 8 woman. So when they say Warmington a behave so toward Juliet, them smile. That's what they like to see. It gives them an orgasm when them see women being treated that way. And I think it's sick. There are 6 set of people over there. So I hope that the JLP hierarchy has the guts to tell Warmington that if him continue, then either go and call him out or suspend him or whatever them have to do. But this cannot continue. Stop from turning off people from tuning into the parliament. It is bad enough that we have an opposition side that is full of beer riffraff. Bad enough we have to tolerate that. Okay? Anyway, guys, make we watch this conversation and this happenings with the JPS agreement, and let us see how much longer. I feel so bad for the people who are still in the dark. How many weeks now? Are going into 3 weeks, I think. What am I talking about? No, it's about a month and almost 2 weeks since we've had the hurricane. Hello, good night. Eh? Yeah, man, I'm live. Hello? Yes, do you want to say something? You know, first time I first get garbage today. Really? No. I don't know what going on at this sideways, man, in Manchester. How are you, MP? MP Road and MP is Mr. Peter Bunty. They call him Ballin for us. Okay. I used to, man, taxpayer cannot pay tax every April. And we have garbage truck now come because so push by the mayor man in the council the man they need to blame the government. There is a real madness. So what want to do with the garbage for the time? 12 bag from the yard to put the garbage truck in. 12 bag. 12 bag in. So what do me say? Listen to me not. I mean, no, listen. You know, me not my vehicle run. It's Mario Michel and Miss Moran in JP Council and Miss Donovan Michel. They drive the gas up right where they are getting. They take it from me here, I go try and get somebody clean up and see how serious it is. I tell you. Look here. So how much was your community affected? We send them to office to deal with people, business, personal business like local. If you're wrong, tell me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. So how we allowance to government. We get no big paycheck a month. We get gas allowance. We get our 10% of government. We still need to go to the idiot. Well on there. But the parish council called me a vote against him. Okay, so how affected was your community by the storm?
off. I mean, I mean, see nobody. I mean, I report to people that they will go to death or what they, I mean, put on my medical room top. But I'm back at my house. So, I mean, I have time to slow it for the foolishness.
So you think that the hurricane had something to do with the delay in garbage pickup?
Not at least, not your man, the bell. I mean, I have a good friend with that sideways management. The probably government if it check out these truck drivers drive the truck them because gas and water to measure the government vehicle them. And they truck them down. They also 13 truck down one time. This madness.
Hmm. All right. We have to go check. We have to go check in me and the people them about this. Okay. Tha-
Look like this. I time I pick up on me, I throw the garbage over there and me tell the yard. I'm exploring at yard at night. And Mario, me tell somebody to have clean out and then pack it up. They got a share feel.
All right. Nobody do that.
Foolishness.
Well, I think we need a reform. I think we need some local government reforms and more accountability to begin with. So but thank you for the information. I'm hoping that somebody hears this and go tell them and the solid waste people, them and all of them, wagwan, right?
First, we get pick up
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
water. We are sending this back. And we already water like half an hour for y'all. 5 days, 5 working days, 6 work the school can't keep because water like that. These things are addressed.
Lord God.
Reality what's going on. I mean, the one is road. I don't have anybody contact, but we have a political problem. Is that serious issue?
Mm-mm. Okay, well, thank you for the information. It's definitely, I mean, 6 weeks without garbage pickup, that is ripe for any kind of disease and outbreak. So something needs to be done there. I don't know what's the problem, but hopefully the people them who respond from the MP to the mayor them hear what go on and explain to you guys and stuff like that. Get it rectified.
Even a poorest area idiot. Means you won't go idiot. Like, we are to do. We are you absent. You know why you come to the spin my head?
Mm,
You come to foolishness. I don't support with tax. Me pay tax. Listen to me. We have a lot of property and I don't want the property taxes.
mm. All right. Well, thank you.
Property tax that we have problem.
All right.
For the right letter that blow even by government to come with your gate. We pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And you pay taxes come.
All right. Well, thank you for the information. I hope that they get the message, cause this is not right. But thank you for calling. You hear?
Thank you, man.
Yes. I was just gonna wrap up, and I said let me take this last call. But he said that his member of parliament is Rhoda and Bunting. If they are porous, guys. Before the storm, we already know that before the storm even arrived, local government in a Jamaica needs some serious reform, some serious oversight. Every day, them in a parliament, I say them a do accountability and a hold people accountable. What about local government? Oversight. It need more oversight. Them need to have people who actually make sure that things are run right and things are being done. I've had so many people reach out to me after the program who were either part of local government or them know a lot, and it's pretty bad. So I'm hoping that sometime in the near future there's going to be some kind of reform where local government is concerned, and also the money for get watched too. They need a total reform for sure. So I don't know if the government has any plans. I think I heard the Prime Minister one time mention it, but I haven't heard anything more. But something seriously needs to be done. And the people them pay them taxes for sure. Anyway, guys, I will catch up with you later, as I said, on the topic here tonight of the restoration of electricity across these hard hit parishes. I hope that the government continue to do what they're doing in terms of they said that they completed the negotiation and the loan agreement with JPS. And let's just watch and see what JPS does. And I'm hoping that people will get back them power. Some people say all they want for Christmas are power. Give back the people them electricity. And let's try to get back to normal as much as possible. Get our business, small businesses, big businesses up and running again. Right? That's what we want to see happen. Anyway, thank you. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave, guys, and share the live. Thank you. Have a good night.